You had your chance and then you blew it.
That is the most absurd statement of the year.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, baby.
I'm in my zone, I'm feeling it.
Live from Rock Solid Studios in Granite Falls, it's time for MinneZona Sports, live with DJ Matty C. and Paul the Shield Vold.
And this is MinneZona Sports Live, episode 16, coming at you live from Rock Solid Studios in Granite Falls. Yes, claps all around, Zoners. And our fellow producer, the Curve Doctor, with the claps. And without further ado, I am your host, DJ Matty C, a.k.a. Matt Callen, a.k.a. Callie, a.k.a. Matty C, etc., etc., etc. And without further ado, our co-host, live from Woods and Shores Studios in Aiken, Minnesota, Paul Vold. Shield. What's going on, Shield?
Not a whole lot. Another wonderful Wednesday. We got great news before the show even starts. There will be an end to the stay-at-home order. It's going to expire on Sunday.
Claps all around.
Big claps all around. Huge Shield shout-out to Governor Tim Walz.
Already starting off Shield shout-outs.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're feeling fantastic. We're just letting it play.
We are. What up, Max? Good to see you. We got all the zoners chiming in, but Voldy, I feel really bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I mean, I'm doing my part. I mean, I got the freshly minted MinneZona Sports Live shirt on. Where's yours? What's going on here?
I feel
What's happening?
Like I've just completely betrayed our zoners. I took the L on this, and it's just... You know, it's tough. I'm sorry, zoners, but you know what? Of course not. I got my Zona stuff right here.
There he is.
We are prepared.
Huge.
Okay? We are prepared. I
Yes,
just
sir.
wanted to mess a little bit with our zoners because, you know, that's impossible. And that's impossible, as Coach Hines is saying right now. But, guys... Why would I forget the Zona shirt? I mean, that is, I would be nominated for most absurd statement again. Like, I'd be like, 2 absurd statements in like 1 year. This is like not me. No, the Zona t-shirt is right here. Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. So speaking of the Zona t-shirt, Voldy, I believe that some t-shirts have arrived. Not only ours, but to some of the zoners. I think, Pete, we got to give some shout-outs already to some people here. So shout-out to Easy A in the first photo there, getting his shirt. And then, hey, look, wait. It's a Rick.
It's a Rick.
He got his shirt as well, so Rick's got his shirt. And then shout-out to Victor Austin as well. He's got the shirt. I mean, this is fantastic, Voldy. And we want to remind our zoners that if you get your shirt, please send a photo to me, the Shield, or the Curve Doctor, and we might feature you in a post. We might feature you on the show here like we're doing right now. So, guys, this is a perfect opportunity, all right? Jimbo, fantastic job. We got to give claps for Jimbo for getting this all
Fantastic.
Shield, I've been working with Jimbo. And Jimbo has done a fantastic job of getting these shirts ready to go. I think our next shipment is still coming in here, but they'll be ready to go. So
yeah, just shoot us a message. If you want a shirt, tell us what size. $20 a shirt plus $5 shipping.
You got it. So just make sure, you know, and then the people that already ordered, get your money in. I know.
Please.
Love it, Jimbo. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, just make sure, get your money in. We'll get you all set up, okay? I've talked to some people, you know who you are. let's get it rolling, guys, so you can get your shirt. Come on, it's MinneZona, baby. Let's go. So we got it all ready to go. We got the merch just for you guys. Get your merch
Just
now.
for you.
Just for you. So, and then one more thing too, Shield. We've had a lot of zoners taking photos and showing where they've been while they're watching or listening to the zone. So we need to give a shout out as well to Court Hansen for
That's awesome.
where he's watching. He's multitasking here. I mean, he's got his dog. He's going to be throwing the ball here, I assume. And he's watching MinneZona. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, Voldy.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. That's when we know we're making a difference. That's fantastic to see. I love it. Shout out to Court.
Yeah, shout out to Court. And, we got plenty. Jimbo says still got plenty of shirts to be shipped. So, hey, get it rolling, people. Get your shirts.
Let's go.
Get them now. Venmo, PayPal, carrier pigeon, whatever you need to do. Or by check, mail check, too. So
Mail a check.
Yeah, you can do that as well.
One of those. Pony Express, all the above.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, I think we need to start the show here because I think we've done enough press for the shirts. But again, get your shirts, obviously. So anyway, Voldy, we got to start off things with tater tot hot take, but we're doing ketchup again. Okay.
Yeah.
People loved it, so we're doing tater tot hot take ketchup, and it's fresh out of the oven, coming right to you.
Fresh out of the oven, it's Tater Tot Hot Take.
All right, Voldy, tater tot hot take, right out of the oven. Voldy's got his hot dish. He's putting it back. There you go. Yep, perfect. There we go. Okay, it's hot right out of the oven. The first thing we're getting to, Voldy, is the Wolves. We talked about it last week.
Yep.
But we talked about Rosas and how he's done with the Wolves. But there was a certain someone that the Wolves got, and we talked about it here on MinneZona, D'Angelo Russell, D-Lo, as we like to call him here. It's going to be brief, but we want to hear what the zoners think, too. The relationship between not only D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns has been, they're like best friends. And it's almost like a dream come true for these guys to be on the same team, to be able to play at high levels. And, they're fantastic players. But what does this look like going into the future is what I'm asking myself, and what people think as well. Because Cat was hurt for a little bit when Russell even came to the Wolves. So now we got to wonder, once this pandemic thing starts to dissipate here, Voldy, what is this tandem going to be like? They're still young, okay? Karl Anthony Towns, still a young guy. So is D'Angelo Russell, Garrison Rosas. It's probably going to add more pieces here to the Wolves. Malik Beasley's another guy. So, Voldy, how do you look at this tandem here in the future?
Well, I think everything that's on the mind of Timberwolves fans, you want this combination to be the next Garnett Marbury. You want that to happen. I kind of see it from that perspective as well. I think when you throw in the fact of like D'Angelo Russell coming in, when he was with Golden State, he wasn't the guy, but he was kind of the guy. But, on a team like Golden State, it's completely stacked towards, Klay Thompson and, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, right. And he was just there. He was just a guy. He wasn't the guy. When he was with Brooklyn, he was the guy. Now here with the Timberwolves, he can be the guy, but he doesn't have to be. I think I've said the guy way too much, but I kind of look at it as a similar situation, kind of like what Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant were when James Harden left Oklahoma City. I kind of want to see that kind of happen a little bit. Carry a franchise all the way to maybe a finals appearance. Is that going to happen with the Timberwolves in our lifetime? We would like to think so. But
Right.
I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. But I want to see for the fact that at least get a full season, season and a half, and see how the D'Lo, experiment is going to work with Karl Anthony Towns and that whole situation. Who's going to be getting the ball? Who's going to be, getting the
Right.
most production? Everything that goes with that.
So how I think you summed it up perfectly, Voldy, this Marbury Garnett type of thing. And that's kind of how I look at it a little bit. But again, these guys are improving by the year. Game in, game out, these guys have definitely learned a lot. The whole Jimmy Butler thing, we talked about it last week. We don't need to go over it again. But that's gone, finally. We can move on from that. It's D'Lo, Cat. It's Josh Okogie. I mean, these guys are looking pretty good. They're very young, okay? It's going to take a little bit for them to get to a level where they want to go. Wiggins is gone now, too. So we have to look at this team and say, it's going to take a little bit. And that's fine, because Wolves fans have been waiting for over 20 years, okay? Again, you don't want to, force the issue a little bit. But at the same time, too, I think when you look at this tandem, it's almost reminiscent to Garnett and Marbury, a.k.a. Starbury, as I like to call him. But this team, it's going to take some time. And, enjoy it, because, D'Lo is a guy that is going to, score a lot, okay? I believe his first game, I'm looking at it right now, 22 points. His first game with the T-Wolves against the Raptors, okay? I mean, that's pretty doggone good if you're, for your first game with the Wolves, especially when they pretty much sold the whole team to get, D'Lo, and, they made other trades as well to get draft picks and et cetera, et cetera. But when you look at this team, if I were to sum it up, if they resume the season, which, again, that it's starting to feel like that might happen here soon. So we'll see kind of how that works. I don't know if, there are teams in contention, but if there's teams that are not even close, then, I don't know how they're going to divvy that up. But let's see some growth. Let's see something that we haven't seen in a while. Cat and D'Angelo and Beasley. We can't forget about Malik Beasley. He has been fantastic this past year, so we got to keep it rolling. And hey, you never know. The Wolves could they're going to improve. So
nobody expected them to make the playoffs a couple years ago, and lo and behold, they snuck in there. They made a little bit of noise.
They did. So that's the good news about that. But anyway, I think this tandem is going to be fun. And I'm excited, it's something that Wolves fans want to see. They wanted D'Lo, they got him. Perfect. So, anyway, we're going to move on to the Minnesota Wild, Voldy. Little hockey, little puck going on here. So, Voldy, there's this prospect, and you're going to have to help me with the name on it. Is it Kirill?
I would imagine so.
Okay.
Up until about 5 minutes ago,
okay.
I had no idea who this guy was.
Really? Wow.
I don't deal with Russian. Nope.
Okay. So
we keep it continental to North America. That's for sure.
I got you. Understood. But anyway, this guy's supposed to be the franchise here. The Wild are putting all their chips on this guy. I mean, Guerin is really looking at this, and he is now in Russia, so he can't be with the Wild. And Michael Russo from The Athletic said there's zero chance that Kirill Kaprizov, will be able to suit up for the Wild this summer, even if the season does resume, which we all kind of knew. I mean, there's a pandemic going on. Easy, I don't deal with Russia. You loved it, Voldy. You always got the puns humming along. So anyway, I mean, we're looking at a guy that is going to be kind of the future here. And you wonder about Zach Parise, Ryan Suter, Mikko Koivu. He's probably going to be gone after this season unless he comes back. But again, Voldy, we kind of look at this, and this guy, I think, is going to take the Minnesota Wild And, obviously they're rebuilding. I mean, if that wasn't evidence enough. But they're trying to get younger, and this guy is still in Russia. So, Voldy, do you think, even though they say there's zero chance, I feel like any time in sports when some people say there's zero chance, somehow, some way, they end up playing or something like that.
Right, right.
So, Voldy, what do you think? Do you think Kaprizov will be in a wild sweater before the end of the season here?
Well, if there's going to be an end of the season.
If there is going to be, right.
If there is going to be an end of the season, I would say, I'm looking at this from the perspective, I would say no. I would say no, that he's not going to come over and play, just because of the fact that you look at it from the situation. He's probably played a full season. The KHL, the Continental Hockey League, right, is probably the next step, exactly, that rivals the NHL. It is a whole nother league over there, and it is fantastic. But looking at the fact of there's too many extenuating circumstances, too many variables. Who even knows if the NHL season is going to – because they're the one league that hasn't come out as of late and actually said, here's the plans that we're probably going to put together. We're just waiting for the go-ahead to say that we could do it. Because Major League Baseball, the NFL, and the NBA have all come out. And in this situation, no news is definitely bad news, because as long as Gary Bettman keeps his mouth shut, it's definitely not good for the NHL, even though some states are already opening back up. Arizona's already said that they're already going to be letting pro sports get started up as of Saturday. And we're all just sitting here waiting for Major League Baseball to get their act together. The NBA is slowly but surely getting players back together as well. But nothing out of the NHL. But getting back to the point, if the season would be to finish up this year before the start of the next league season, I don't think he's going to be playing the rest of the 2019-20 season with the Minnesota Wild.
As Jimbo's saying right here, he will be in a Wild sweater next year, which we all kind of expected. His KHL contract will expire at the end of the current season. Then he'll be coming over. So, hey, we'll see what happens. And
we'll see.
I'm liking this guy a lot, Voldy. I've seen some highlight videos. Watch out.
Wild need to get younger, and this is where they start.
Exactly. So, we're going to move on to our next one. The Minnesota Twins. There really hasn't been much. Obviously, we're going to talk more about this with the MLB and everything later on here in the show, I believe for ARA. But I was watching a lot of, way back when, when the best moments the Twins had. And they've had a lot. They really have had a lot. So, Voldy, and I'm going to ask our zoners here, too, as well. As always, zoners chime in whenever. What has been your favorite Twins? I know you're a Red Sox fan, Voldy.
Right.
Okay. But, there's been a lot of good moments with the Minnesota Twins. So, just give me your favorite moment for our Minnesota Twins here.
Boy, I would have to say one of my favorite moments with the Twins – probably, I got a couple. I know one of them technically isn't even a Twins moment. It's a baseball moment, but I would have to say one of them that stands out in my mind is when Justin Morneau scored the game-winning run for the American League in the All-Star game. I think it was 2008, 2009. It was Yankee Stadium. In the bottom of the 14th inning or something, Justin Morneau scores the game-winning RBI. And also, he won the home run derby the previous night, too, with that impressive performance from Josh Hamilton. Nobody remembers the fact it was Justin Morneau that kicked the tar out of him in the finals. That's also a really great moment. I would have to say maybe the likes of Jim Thome's walk-off home run at Target Field. That one gets me every time. And probably the likes of maybe the 2014 All-Star game as well at Target Field. A lot of great moments there, and also seeing, of course, Derek Jeter's last All-Star game. But, there's been a whole lot of moments that people could choose from. But those are just a couple of my favorites.
Yeah. For me, it's got to be one of my favorites is Game 163 against the Tigers.
Absolutely.
When they had Carlos Gomez, they had Cuddy, Michael Kadire, they had...
just a who's who of Twins legends.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, who's who,
Alex
exactly. Morneau, Mauer, those guys. So that was a huge game. And, again, the Twins have had a lot of great moments. They've won 2 World Series. But that was a game that I feel like everyone in Minnesota was watching very carefully. And I remember staying up really late watching the game and just how well they played and how, they fought to the end. I mean, the Tigers, they weren't no slouch, okay? They were a good team back then. Brandon Inge was another guy. I think Miggy was on the team still.
Miggy was on the team. I think Maglio Ordonez was still playing for them.
Yeah.
His sorry rear end. But the Twins had guys like Matt Tolbert, Orlando Cabrera.
Yeah, O-Dog.
Just baseball legends.
Yeah.
Bobby Korecki coming out of the bullpen. I mean, just a who's who of Twins stalwarts.
Yeah, Mike
just
Redmond.
Fantastic.
Double nickel, as they called them too. So I mean,
double nickel.
So I mean, there's so many. I mean, that one just sticks out to me more because I experienced that. It was so much fun, and obviously, you look towards here to the future, and the Bomba Squad too. I mean, in recent memory, you gotta love that as well. So there's just a couple that I thought of, and they've been showing replays and things like that. So I was like, this is perfect for Tater Tot Hot Take Catch Up. What is your favorite Twins moment? I mean, obviously this would fit with the North Remembers, but again, you never know. This will pop up again. So I thought this was a very good one to get to. So yeah, Zoners, give us your favorite Twins moments. I mean, again, chime in when you can. Do it. So we got to move on to our last one. We got hey guys, hey Deb, what's going on? I was at the game where the Twins set the home run record. Hey, not many people can say that, right? So,
attaboy.
A Rick. So, we're going to move on to the Vikings. We haven't talked about them for, I think, maybe 2 weeks. So, I mean, it's been a while. But their schedule came out, Voldy. So, we're going to do something that's quite fun. And it'll be quick. We won't give too much analysis because there's a lot of games we have to get through. So, Voldy, week 1. The Vikings play none other than the Green Bay Packers, the hated team in the NFC North. I think we should just boo the hell out of this team because no one likes them. We've got zoners that are Packer fans. We can't be mean to them. But, again,
we can. We choose to take the high road.
Right, exactly. But, so they play them week 1. They're at home. So, Voldy, I'm giving them a win here because it's the first game, and it's going to be hopping. Well, depending on how things go with the pandemic, okay. But let's just say, here we go, Mets chiming in here. Vikes about to start 1-1. Well, you know what? There's a guy coming for you, and his name's Justin Jefferson. All right, watch out. So anyway, yeah, I got them winning the first game of the season. Voldy, what do you think?
That's a win. Chalk it up.
Chalk it up. Let's go. All right, week 2, Voldy. They are at Indianapolis. Obviously, they got Phillip Rivers coming in, and it'll be a little different. And it's going to be at Indianapolis after the last time they played Indianapolis. They got slaughtered. So I got them winning away. So they're sitting at 2-0. What do you think, Voldy?
Yep, 2-0. We're moving on to week 3.
Moving on to week 3. All right. Week 3, we got the Tennessee Titans. Now, this is a tougher one. They went to the AFC Championship game last year, Ryan Tannehill. But the Vikings have given him fits before. So, Voldy, they're at home. I'm giving them a win.
Yeah, being at home is going to be a big factor. But, boy, Mike Vrabel has turned this franchise into something that is awesome to watch. Love Mike Vrabel. Love the way he coaches, the way he plays. He beat up on the Patriots last year, but that is, if it was going to be anybody, it might as well be a former Patriot.
All right.
I think the Vikings sneak out a win in this one. We're moving on to 3-0.
3-0. All right. Week 4 at Houston Texans. They got Deshaun Watson. They got a pretty good defense. J.J. Watt's still around there.
If he's healthy by week 4, who knows? He'll break something week 2.
Well, there's that. Oh, we got Easy A saying loss against Tennessee.
All right,
I
Easy A.
I can see that. But I actually have the Vikings losing this game against Houston because I think they'll struggle against Deshaun Watson. Voldy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big factor unless the Vikings find a way to get after Deshaun Watson. I mean, he's a guy that always gets hit and he gets banged around pretty easily, but I think he's just too dynamic. He gets rid of the ball and he gives it right to his playmakers. They're going to make some action with with whoever they got now. They don't have Andre Hopkins anymore. Still confuses me why Bill O'Brien did that, but that's for a whole nother story. But I mean. Whoever's going to be the guy that steps up for Houston is going to get the ball a lot. But I think Houston gets the win in this one.
Right. As Easy said, no D-Hop again. They have
Exactly.
David Johnson, though. So we're sitting at 3-1.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, we're sitting at 3-1 for the Vikings. They're at Seattle. That's weird. Didn't they play them 2 years ago? Oh, last year too? Gosh, it's just crazy. But
we could not get Seattle at our place. It baffles me all the time when the Vikings play the Seahawks. It's always on the road. I think the last time that the Seattle came to Minnesota, Seneca Wallace was still playing for them. That's like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Matt Hasselbeck was still there. I think Sean Alexander was still in the backfield. That's how long it's been.
Yeah.
Can we just get Seattle at US Bank Stadium one time?
Once. Gosh.
Please.
So, Voldy, I got them winning. I do, because I am sick and tired of them going to Seattle and losing and coming up close. I mean, they've been in it. They just haven't beat them. I think this is finally the year. I said this last year too, but this is finally the year we beat them at their place. Okay? I'm sick and tired of losing to them at Seattle. Let's finally put the nail in the coffin, finally beat Russell Wilson. So, Voldy, what do you got?
I'm going to say it's going to be a win, but it's going to be like 35-34. It's going to be an offensive shootout. It's not going to be a defensive game. Whoever wins this one, A, scores the most points, and B, wins the turnover battle.
Bingo. All right, so we got 4-1 and for both of us. And then week 6, they got Atlanta. Do you got them winning, Voldy?
Yeah, I got them winning. I think it's going to come down to the running game. Todd Gurley versus Dalvin Cook. I mean, who would want to see this matchup in week 6?
Great matchup. So I got them winning as well. So we're sitting at 5-1. Week 7 bye. So we get a little rest there. Sitting at 5-1.
That's a win.
The bye. Yeah.
Win the bye, people.
Right. Week 8 at Green Bay now. Okay. Voldy, as much as I hate to say this, I think it's a loss here because I think they split it because I think Green Bay's always been a tough place for the Vikings to win. So I give them a loss there because, Green Bay is a tough place. So we're sitting at 5-2 for me, Voldy.
Yeah, I got to give it to, man, this is a tough one. It really is because they go either way. If the Vikings are going to be 6-2 at this point or, 6-1 going into this game, it's going to be a heck of a matchup because, the Packers are going to be sitting right there with them. It's going to be a tight loss, but I think Green Bay finds a way. Always find a way somehow.
So we're sitting at 5-2. Detroit Lions, I'm already pegging that as a win. 6-2. What do you got?
This isn't the same Detroit. If you have Matthew Stafford fully healthy, revamped defense, Matt Patricia going into another year with a full offseason to work with, this is going to be a tough one. It's at home, so that's going to help. I'm going to say a win for the Vikings here in Week 9 at home against Detroit.
All right, 6-2. All right, at Chicago. I already have them as a loss. There's something about Soldier Field. There's just something about it. So I got to give them a loss there. So we're at 6-3 for me.
It's something about the way the wind comes off Lake Michigan into Soldier Field that just messes with the Vikings' minds. If Mitchell Trubisky isn't released by Week 10 for the Chicago Bears, I would be shocked.
Right.
And whoever's going to be starting for them is going to have a heck of a run. But, yeah, it's going to be a tough one to go with. But, I mean, even what Metzler's throwing out here 4-0 against the Vikings. I mean, you can't mess with numbers like that. Nagy is an offensive genius. Bears for this one as well.
So 6-3 for both of us. All right, Dallas at home. Okay, Dallas, again, they're very good. They're still a good team, and you can't treat them lightly. You know, the Vikings did beat them last year. I say the Vikings get a win here, Voldy, to move on to 7-3. I think they have to, after the loss at Chicago, they come back, roaring back here. So, yeah, Week 11 against Dallas, I give them a win.
Absolutely, especially if it's going to be a primetime game. Vikings going to show out. U.S. Bank Stadium against Dak Prescott and crew. That's a win for the Vikes.
Awesome. 7-3. All right, so Carolina, Teddy B coming back to U.S. Bank Stadium.
Absolutely.
You know how much we love Teddy B. But I think the Vikings will take care of the Carolina Panthers here in this one. I got them at 8-3. I think they're going to get to Teddy B, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but I think they're going to defeat Carolina. So they're sitting at 8-3.
Yeah, I think this one's definitely going to be a dogfight, especially with the fact that Teddy B is coming back. He's going to be playing with a lot of extra juice behind him.
Sure.
Have to see what that defense does with Matt Rule. He's been a defensive guy coming through the coaching ranks. I think this one will be a tight one, but I think the Vikings find a way to get a win here.
All right. So we're on Week 13 versus Jacksonville. So we're sitting at 8-3. I got them winning this game, Voldy. Gardner Minshew, I think, is going to have some fits against the Viking defense, even though they'll be a little bit younger, but I think Zimmer can handle a Gardner Minshew. So I got them winning.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I got them winning as well. I mean, Minshew Mania is going to be stopped at U.S. Bank Stadium right then and there, and, you know, we're moving on to Tampa Bay.
And now we got Tampa Bay. I got them at a loss here because it's TFB. It's at Tampa Bay. It's going to be a tough one for the Vikings. I think, you know, they got to deal with Gronk, too, if he's healthy, obviously. So, yeah, I got them losing this one, Voldy. So 9-4.
This matchup could come down to seeding in the NFC. That's how vested interest I'm going to have for Week 14, this matchup. Tom Brady at home, Tampa Bay with the Vikings coming to town. There's going to be a lot of purple in the stands, I'll say that. Vikings always travel well south of the Mason-Dixon line come late season, and boy, is it going to be rocking. That pirate ship may come jostled loose with how much energy is going to be. It's going to be a loss for the Vikings. Right. That's all I've got to say.
So 9-4, if I'm correct, for both of us. And Chicago Bears at home. Finally, they don't play the Chicago Bears Week 17 for like the 5th straight year or something like that. I'm paraphrasing. But, Voldy, I have a win on this one because it is finally time the Vikings take care of business against the most hated team in the Bears, okay? Because they've beaten us the past couple years, and finally, we got to beat them. And I think this is the time where they're like, no, this is where we're beating you guys, you know. So finally, I'm giving them 10 wins here, Voldy, 10-4.
Yeah, I got to go the same as well. I think by this point, the Vikings are going to be put up or shut up, and with Chicago come to town, it's going to be another dog fight, but I think the Vikings got this one for sure.
All right, Week 16 against New Orleans Aints. This is a tough one because it's at New Orleans, and I think Drew Brees is going to want some revenge. I got them losing this one. I hate to say it. Against the Aints, you know, it's a tough one. It's at the Superdome. I hate playing at the Superdome. Yeah, I got the Aints in this one. I think, you know, they're sitting at 10-5, and hey, you know, that's actually not bad, you know, sitting at 10-5. So, Voldy, what do you got?
Yeah, this one, it's just you wish you could just skip the Saints for a season. And the fact that you're matching up against the NFC South after a great playoff victory you had down there last year, it's going to take another Herculean effort, I think, for the Vikings, or another miraculous type effort to get the win down in New Orleans. Who knows? Maybe if Kirk Cousins was as on point as he was in the late half of that
Christmas
contest.
Day, yeah.
Let's not forget as well, this is going to be on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
This is going to be the highlight matchup. This is going to be on a Friday this year?
Yep.
Yeah. That rarely happens. And let's just all hope that when we're watching the game and are opening up presents from Santa and everything, that it's going to be a very good Christmas Day. But we'll see. But this one, I don't think the Vikings got this. I would like to be proven wrong. We both would like to be proven wrong with this one.
Right. So Week 17, let's cap this off. They at Detroit. I think they get the win here, Voldy. I think they finish 11-5. I didn't think I'd say that, but I think they're going to finish 11-5 this season. And hey, we'll see what happens. But again, this is way too early predictions. So 11-5, I got Voldy. I assume that's what you got as well.
Well, Week 17 is always a misnomer.
Yeah, it is.
If the Vikings got a playoff spot
season.
wrapped up, they're going to throw in Sean Mannion. They're going to take the L against
Mike
Detroit.
Boone.
Exactly. It's going to take one of those efforts again. 11-5 is a good one, but looking at maybe 10-6, hopefully a division title, that would be nice. But I'm sitting at 10-6 with the Vikings.
All right. Well, hey, we got to be different on something on this. So yeah,
Exactly.
we kind of looking at this way too early predictions. I got them 11-5. Voldy's got 10-6. So hey, we got it. We made it through hot take. We had a lot to get through, but hey, we got through it. Appreciate the zoners chiming in as well, giving losses, wins for the Vikings coming up this year. So anyway, it's time to educate our zoners here. This week, it's Callahan's School of Logic. Check it.
Class is in session. You're enrolled in Callahan's School of Logic.
All right, settle down, everyone. Settle down. Take your seats and your desks. Relax a little bit. We're sticking with the NFL here. There's still some high-profile free agents going on here, Voldy. We got Scam Newton. We got Jadeveon Clowney. We got all those guys rolling here.
We're back.
Anyway, Callahan School of Logic. That hasn't happened in a while. I'm not going to lie, but hey, we're back. So anyway, like I said, we're doing something called NFL Edition, Who Will Go Where? For Callahan School of Logic. What makes the most logical sense for some of these free agents? So, Scammer Newton, as I like to call him, Scam Newton. Appreciate that, Doctor. I still think the Patriots. And the reason why I think that is because with this pandemic going on, they haven't had a real good... I mean, obviously, they've seen the videos. Bill Belichick knows how to find, videos and things like that. Jared Stidham, I mean, maybe this is some ploy that Belichick's like, all right, we're going to say that Stidham's going to be, our starting quarterback, but we're really looking at Cam Newton. That could be a possibility, Shield. I just think that this makes sense, and it gives Patriots fans something to maybe look forward to. But again, Cam Newton, a little controversial. But I think that this makes the most logical sense if he's going to start. Okay? And I've seen Seattle. I mean, why the heck would he go to Seattle right behind? Oh, yeah, he's going to be behind Russell Wilson. I don't think that's going to be the case. Cam Newton's got a lot left in the tank, in my view. So, Voldy, what do you think? Patriots? Yay? Nay?
It's certainly a possibility.
Okay.
I'm looking at it from the perspective of you hold out long enough, something's about to happen. But the fact that nothing has happened right now and you're just letting Cam Newton kind of stew and try getting everybody riled up, I don't think that's going to be helping his cause a whole lot. But if the NFL season starts on time like they're saying it's going to happen, this is only going to do a disservice to Cam Newton.
Right.
The fact that he hasn't signed with anybody or anybody that's reached out to sign him is, it's an interesting situation. Am I going to put it past the Patriots to go after Cam Newton? No, absolutely not.
Sure.
They're going to make an offer. I'm sure they've requested his medical records. This was almost a month ago now at this point. Let's just hope that if they do make a move, it's going to be sooner than later, because the whole Jared Stidham show is going to be very interesting to see if it isn't going to be Hoyer's Heroes right out the gate.
So, again, I think Belichick's got a plan, but I wouldn't be surprised if they pull a fast one here, Voldy. So, watch out for it. It might happen. You never know. But I think that makes logical sense. I mean, some of the experts here are saying the Rams, yeah, okay. I mean, it depends on how Goff does. But then I got Seattle down here. I just don't understand that one. I'm sorry. That's just me. But the next one I have for you, Voldy, a guy that you kind of know well, Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco was with the Denver Broncos, and now he really doesn't have a team. Now, I've seen a lot of people talk about him saying like, oh, he could go here. One of them said the Vikings.
Ew. No. Please no.
I think that deserves an absurd statement to whoever thought that, because that's not going to happen, and I don't want that to happen. But if I were to say, I think Joe Flacco should retire. I think that makes the most logical sense. He's got nothing left to prove. Okay, he's got a Super Bowl. He's got the money. I mean, if you're doing it out of the love of the game, sure. I mean, I understand. But Joe Flacco, I think it needs to be done. Okay. Not saying that at this point now, the Broncos were just trying to see if he had enough left in the tank. No, he didn't. He was terrible. So, I think it's time to just hang up the cleats, man. That's just me. But if I were to pick a team, Voldy, I'd probably say maybe Cincinnati sitting behind Burrow or something just to help him, in his growth. But, again, I think that's probably the only team I can think of. So, I don't know. What do you think, Voldy?
I could see it from the standpoint that maybe Joe Flacco turns into the next Matt Moore or the next Josh McCown. He's going to be a couple seasons removed from professional football. He's coaching high school or he's something like that. See? Easy A agrees with me with the Josh McCown. He's going to be coaching high school football, and then somebody's going to say, hey, we need a quarterback. We need you here next week. And he's going to end up playing somehow. He's going to probably be that next guy that comes up and does something like that. Honestly, retirement would look good on Joe Flacco. That's all I'm saying.
I think so, too. He's won a Super Bowl. I mean, what else does he have left to prove?
Exactly.
How I look at it. So, all right, my next one here, Voldy. Devontae Freeman, okay, the Falcons released him, which I was kind of surprised about. Yeah, he's had some injury issues and such, but when he's healthy, he's one of the best backs in the league, and he's a fast guy. He's a good receiving back. I was looking at some of the fits that, people are saying, people are thinking Green Bay and all this, but they already have Aaron Jones and, Jamal Williams and everything like that. And I'm like, no, he wants to start. So I was thinking, what would make the most logical sense for Devontae Freeman? And I think, for Callahan School of Logic, Devontae Freeman should go to the Bills. Because they have Devin Singletary, he's a young, up-and-coming back. They still have TJ Yeldon. But if you want a guy that is good in the backfield, that can run the ball, can catch the ball, out of the backfield too. I mean, this guy is quick. Why not take a chance, 1-year deal, prove it deal, and if he goes off, I mean, shoot, you could sign him a long-term deal. I mean, he's still young. He's not like 34 years old or anything like that. Yeah, I think he's still in his late 20s. So again, Devontae Freeman to the Bills. You got Allen. You have, Diggs on the outside. You have John Brown. I mean, this offense is looking pretty good. So I got to say, Devontae Freeman to the Bills. What do you think, Voldy?
That would probably be the most perfect fit for Devontae Freeman. Still got plenty in the tank. Not as young as he used to be. A very young running attack that they have up in Buffalo. I think that's probably the best fit for him.
100%. And I think people bringing up the Buccaneers too. That's another option.
This is true. They don't have a lot of proven backs for Tampa Bay.
I could see it. I think
absolutely
that would make sense. You add more weapons to that arsenal. Watch out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next one here, Voldy, it's kind of a combination. So Jadeveon Clowney, okay? There's been a lot of speculation. I mean, with Jadeveon Clowney, is he gonna go to the Eagles? Is he gonna go here? I think he might stay with Seattle. And the reason why I think that is because I think they really like what he's done with Seattle. And
Right.
he's a guy that can be a game wrecker when he is on and when he's healthy. So I think Seattle's still going to, find a way to get him back on the squad because they want him back. Russell Wilson wants him back. So I think Jadeveon Clowney will go with the Seahawks. And then my next one here, my last one, our good friend, Everson Griffin. Let's go.
Please.
I think he's coming back. Now, is that a bold prediction? Yeah, but there's been a lot of talk. Voldy, you've seen it. I've seen it. I think Everson Griffin can come back. Will he be more in a situational role? I can't see that. I think he might be a starter, help out DJ Watt, right? So, hey,
Right.
watch out with that. But if the roles, if it was a little different, if the Seahawks don't end up getting Jadeveon Clowney back, I think Everson, again, a lot of Vikings go to the Seahawks after their careers. So
This
I
is
think
very
the
true.
most likely destination, if they don't get Jadeveon, is that they go and get Everson. Pete Carroll was his coach at USC. I think that makes the most sense. And then Jadeveon Clowney, if it's not the Seahawks, I could see the Eagles making a quick snag at him. So, again, there's a lot of options, and I think Everson's going to come back. I mean, do you think so, Voldy?
Oh boy, if it is, it's good. I think in my mind it's going to be a situational type role. He's going to be the third down guy, I think. First and second down, that's going to be for Wanham, I think, early on. If it isn't going to start working, then Griffin's going to get more reps, and then Wanham's just going to have to watch and see.
Observe.
But I think if it is going to happen, it's going to be in that limited situational role.
Because I think now Daniil Hunter has classified himself as the man on that D-line. So
He has.
I think it makes the most logical sense. And, Spielman's kind of teased it, too, saying never say never about an Everson Griffin return. So we got to factor that in as well. So anyway, that's kind of my logic with some of these teams. Some of the experts I just disagree with, but hey, that's for another show. We'll get into that at another time. So that was Callahan School of Logic, another good one. We have the NFL edition, who will go where, and we'll see what happens after the pandemic. I mean, if with the season approaching here, not super soon, but I mean it's getting there. So hey,
Soon enough,
right? Blinking, it's going to start, So, anyway, Voldy, we got to get to the Zoners' favorite segment, and it's pretty awesome. It's absurd or approved.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Absurd or Approved.
All right, Voldy, why don't you rattle them off for us, please?
All right, well, we're going to start off with the big topic of this week. Major League Baseball may be just a little bit closer to actually getting started. Major League Baseball owners did approve a proposal from Commissioner Rob Manfred that was presented to players yesterday. No official word yet if it was approved or not from the players' perspective,
right.
But the owners and Commissioner Manfred on a start to Major League Baseball season by early July. That's when they're going to start playing games.
Yeah.
Everything leading up to it is going to require a little something else. Some of the key points from this supposed proposal do include an expansion of playoff teams from 10 to 14,
right,
an 82-game season, the use of home stadiums in areas that have local and state government approval. So basically, if stay-at-home orders are lifted, then they're going to play there. So-called Spring Training 2.0 that begins in June with the season set for early July. They're saying 4th of July weekend is when the regular season would start.
Okay.
A universal DH, and this is a really nice kicker that I've really enjoyed, geographical schedule. So basically you break it down, the AL Central teams would play against NL Central teams in that geographic area. So that no use of going from East Coast to West Coast if you're in the Midwest or everything in between. And also a 30-man roster with a taxi squad that would have upwards of 50 players available. Now, this is the main points from the proposal, absurd or approved, the proposed plan for baseball's return.
Well, this is an interesting one because there's been a lot of back and forth. I mean, the owners want one thing, the players want another thing. And again, seeing how this all plays out is kind of the big thing. I like most of it. It's got my stamp of approval, I'd say, mostly. So, yeah, I'll give it my stamp of approval. But I think this kind of is, they have a plan. And that's what you need. You have to have a plan in these circumstances, and this is what people have been waiting on. An 82-game season, I mean, at least you're getting a season going, right? And then the geographical schedules, I mean, I didn't see that. I didn't know that was in the proposal. So, hey, again, that makes more sense. But, again, things could change here, depending on how everything goes, like I've been saying. But I think the issue, I believe, is the money. 50-50. I don't know. The players are fully invested in that. And that's kind of something that, I hope that they can figure out because people want to have this. Voldy, you're a huge baseball fan. I'm a baseball fan. The Kerf Doctor's a baseball fan. We got to see the Twins. We got to see the Red Sox for you. I mean, this is crazy. And then you got Easy A chiming in. I like it that it will start in July and everything else except the universal DH. Well, I'm sort of a fan of the universal DH. I think Voldy's not. All right, we're different on something. So, Voldy, it's got my stamp of approval because, hey, they have a plan. And that's kind of the big thing is they have a plan. And do they have some things iron out? Sure. So, Voldy, what do you think?
I think it's approved. It's a plan. It's something. Can we just have baseball already?
Yeah.
Couple of things that kind of irk me a little bit. First off, the big one, universal DH. Not a fan of the DH in the National League. There's nothing more hilarious to watch an American League pitcher that says, I'm an athlete, I can swing a bat, just look absolutely foolish swinging a bat and then trying to run the bases. I love that. And I also like the fact when, pitchers that probably haven't swung a bat in 3 and 4 years then hit a home run off a National League pitcher. That's awesome. I love it. We need more of that. That's why I truly enjoy when the Twins play interleague, because then you see guys like Barrios and you see all the starting pitchers come up and take their swings. They're swinging for the fences. They want to put one out of the park, and that's always fun to watch. 82-game season, fantastic. Geographical schedule, how awesome would it be to watch the Twins play the Cubs, the Brewers, the Cardinals on a regular basis? Because anybody and everybody knows at least 3 or 4 Cubs fans, which still baffles me to this day, just like how everybody somehow knows at least 3 or 4 Nebraska Cornhusker fans in Minnesota. Just the weirdest thing ever.
Sure.
I like it. If it comes down to the money situation with the players and the owners, we're going to be sitting this one out for the whole season. Someone's got to concede. Do you want to play? Do you want to get paid? Right. Obviously, they want to do both. But at the same time, if you don't play, you don't get paid. That's how it should be, but it won't. It's got my stamp of approval, though. We need to get this thing going.
Right. Let's get it going. But for me, I guess the universal DH, I think it's something that they have to do at this point with the pandemic going on.
Right.
But,
right.
I mean, obviously, after this, season, they'll be able to, get back to normal with, the regular, when the AL
that's
plays,
another
the
thing,
pitcher.
too.
Yeah. What's that?
Major League Baseball is thinking about making the universal DH implement, I think, even in the next season.
Right.
So there could be the possibility of DH going in the National League even into next season without the possibility of a full off season to, make any adjustments with it.
So, we'll see what happens. If they do it, fine. If they don't, I'm not going to hoot and holler about it. So, next one, Voldy.
Yes, this one more relating to the coronavirus pandemic from Dr. Anthony Fauci, who has been the voice of reason when it comes to medical research and everything related to the pandemic. He's talking about possibly the second wave of the coronavirus in the fall, which just so happens to coincide with the National Football League. No full lastingness. That's the name for this story. Talking about the fact that there quite possibly could be a delay, if any at all. Of course, there quite possibly could be a delay. First NFL regular season game, September 10th, as Kansas City opens up the season as the Super Bowl champs. Looking at the possibility of a delay, there is some significance to the fact that the second wave, as they keep calling, is going to happen right in the middle of the fall. If the NFL does get any games going up until that point, it's going to be very interesting to see. I just want to get your take on the possibility of the NFL season even getting started at all.
I'm no expert. None of us. I mean, we got the Kerf doctor, but it's a different. He's got a different doctorate, and getting the Zona together. But anyway, it's a tough deal, and for me, I try to be optimistic, Voldy, and I'm sure the Zoners are too, because Fauci has done a great job of this whole thing. Okay, but at the same time, too, if they're getting the season started already, it's going to be hard to stop it. And, I mean, it depends if fans are going to be in the stands. I mean, are fans going to be in the stands or what? Because that's kind of up in the air right now. And, if the second wave is true, which, it very well could be, they got to be prepared. And I think the NFL is taking the steps that they need to take in case that this thing gets worse here in the fall for our second wave. But I look at this and I say, I think they're going to be able to start the season in some fashion. Not saying that there's going to be not saying that, there's definitely going to be fans in the fall. I can't say that because I don't know much about it. I'm no expert on the coronavirus, but obviously this thing spreads, and we're heading in a positive direction now. So I think people are kind of like, oh, okay, well maybe we'll be able to do this. Again, we'll see, and I think the NFL is prepared to do, for what's coming. But again, Fauci even said, football could start. I mean, they could have a lot of players. If a lot of players start getting infected, they'll have to shut it down. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But Voldy, what do you think?
I think there's just too much unknown at this point. Yep. We don't know what's going to happen next week. It's the same story we keep saying each and every week. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, let alone 4 or 5 months from now when the NFL is supposedly supposed to be getting started. There's too many circumstances that could improve, things that could increase, digress. Things could get better. Things could get worse. We don't know. I think the NFL is most likely going to start without fans and then maybe slowly integrate them back in. But I think as of right now, it's just there's too much unknown. But I think the fact that Dr. Fauci is throwing is throwing this advice out there, I think the NFL definitely needs to take a look at it.
Right. And I think they'll take whatever they can do. I think they're going to have parameters at some point because, they're the only sport that technically isn't going right now. The NFL, NBA, it's like, are they going to resume theirs? NHL, MLB, are they going to even start? So, again, I think Goodell and they'll do the right thing in this circumstance because they, you can see what happens if you take the wrong steps here. It's going to spread, it's going to get worse, and not good. So that's how we, look at it at this point. Again, a lot of what ifs here, Voldy, as we were saying. So next one, Voldy.
Well, we take a moment to head on over to the hardwood with a little college basketball as Kansas basketball may have themselves in some hot water with egregious and severe rules violations, according to the NCAA, that alleges Jayhawks coach Bill Self and assistants Kurt Townsend embraced and welcomed and encouraged Adidas employees and consultants to influence high-profile basketball recruits to sign with Kansas. Now, there are a lot of other violations. They got 5 of the worst violations against them. They're also being charged with 2 level 2 violations and 1 level 3 violation.
Oh, my goodness.
That is related to the football program over Coach David Beatty as well. Looking at how this could quite possibly end up, it's the same story we usually get each year around this time of some coach trying to get good recruits and somehow some agent or maybe some sort of representative from one of these brands comes through and says that they were helping them sign recruits comes up. My question to you is the possibility of Kansas basketball, maybe not so much getting the death penalty, but serious NCAA violations, quite possibly maybe even some postseason bans.
This is an interesting one because there's a lot here. This alleged stuff. For one, I know Kansas has a football program. Their football program, I'm going to be blunt here, they're trash. I mean, they're so bad. They are terrible. Absolutely terrible. But anyway, I look at basketball here, and, I feel like a lot of coaches in the NCAA, especially basketball, try to find an easier way to recruit. And I've known people, a good friend of mine went to Kansas, and, Bill Self has been there for a while. So here's my question. Why wasn't this investigated sooner is my question with this. I think it's absurd that they should get the death penalty because there are a lot of Jayhawks that go there and have a successful career and then have an Adidas, in on this. I look at Bill Self as a good person. And I think that Kansas, I wouldn't say they should be cleared of all charges because there's always something fishy going on. I was kidding about that, but they're so irrelevant that I'm surprised there are any issues with them. But no, but seriously, they are bad at football. So I agree with you there, Aaron. But yeah, I think we got to look at this and say, okay, it probably won't be the death penalty for this team. I mean, they can get rid of the football team because, good Lord, they can't win. Les Miles is there now, but, we'll see. But I just can't see this going to the death penalty for the Kansas Jayhawks. So what do you think, Voldy?
There's a lot that goes into it. If the NCAA is going to cover their own rear ends and think, boy, Kansas, this is one of our big money makers. Yeah. This is one of the 5 programs that's usually at the top 5 making serious postseason runs, whether it be in the Big 12 conference or even in the NCAA tournament. They always bring in top recruits and also bring in the fact that, they're one of the best programs in the country. And, postseason bans, I don't know, see about that. They're going to be slapping a lot of wrists. There's going to be a lot of red wrists by the end of this whole situation. Maybe lose some scholarships, some money towards the program. There's going to be a lot of sanctions against the likes of the university, but I don't know. The death penalty is kind of a big one.
We've seen worse.
There's been a lot worse, for sure.
And, I think that this will get resolved, but I don't think they walk out of this unscathed.
No, definitely not.
But the fog there in Kansas, I've been there, Voldy. It's one hell of an experience. It is awesome. They're very passionate, but again, they've already made themselves a really good basketball team. The fact that there's all this coming out now is just a little absurd to me because, Kansas has been successful for a long time. The fog, Showtime. I was talking about you. It was fantastic. Remember my freshman year at SMSU, actually, I went down and visited my boy Showtime Geske there, and we went to a Kansas basketball game. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But, yeah, I can't see. I think they won't walk out of this unscathed, but it won't be as bad as people think. So, hopefully not, but we'll see. All right, next one, Voldy.
Well, this one kind of stays with the same course as college basketball, but more on the pro side as well. Zion Williamson is in the midst of a lawsuit with attorneys representing Zion Williamson and his former marketing representative and her company have asked the New Orleans Pelicans star to admit that his mother and stepfather demanded and received gifts, money, and other benefits from persons on acting of the behalf of Adidas and Nike as well. This is very interesting, and also tried to influence him if he was going to sign with Duke and whether to wear Nike or even Adidas products as well. Now, the question is, what kind of fallout is this going to happen for the likes of Zion Williamson?
Well, yeah, this lawsuit is very interesting. I mean, I was reading this before the show here too, Voldy, and I look at this from the perspective of they're seeking all this money, and they're saying, like, you know, his dad and his mom, you know, are coming through and saying they, you know, demanded and received gifts. I mean, this guy was the top basketball player in the freaking nation. I mean, this guy, Zion, is a phenomenal athlete. I mean, he's a beast. Absolute. I mean, the guy is just muscle everywhere. But again, you know, getting back to this, you know, it comes down to the NCAA here too. And it's just all these allegations that come out about, you know, demanding money from this place, demanding money from that, demanding money for that. It's like, you guys really can't screw your head on straight here. And it's really absurd to me that they keep, you know, throwing all this out there and trying to, you know, bring down, you know, Zion Williamson. And Zion, you know, he's going to be one of the best players in the league at, you know, some point here, or if not right now. I mean, he's been fantastic. And you got to look at this and say, oh, you have to admit that they received money and everything like that. And it's like, okay, but that was how long ago? And now you're bringing this up again? Like, come on, leave the guy alone. You know, I mean, just like, it's like, okay, if they shouldn't have done this bad thing in the first place. Yeah, well, yeah, if it did happen, yeah, they should be ashamed of themselves. But at the same time, too, I mean, this keeps, you know, they always try to find something to say, well, he did this, he did that. Whatever, man. You know, this is getting to a point where it's like, just leave them alone. So, I don't know.
Right.
What do you think, Voldy?
You know, they always try to find something like this.
Yeah.
This is always the situation that comes up with a star player. Somebody says something down the line that could come back to hurt somebody.
Sure.
And the fact that the lawsuit is seeking $100 million in damages, that's pretty excessive. But at the same time, you look at it, it's like, it's classic he said, she said. Nobody's going to know the actual truth out of this whole situation. You can guess whatever you want, may or may not have happened. And the fact that the agent isn't even licensed with their contract in North Carolina when, you know, Zion signed, or in Florida, which I believe the company is registered with, something along those lines, and New Orleans as well. There's just too many mixed variables with this that nothing really makes sense. This whole situation overall always comes back to any type of situation, whether it be a star basketball player, a star football player. It just never ends up well. I don't see a whole lot coming out of this. Maybe somebody's going to get some money out of this. I don't know about $100 million. That's for sure.
Just drop it.
Just drop it. Yes.
I mean, it's just getting to a point where it's like, just leave the guy alone. You know,
just settle out of court. Be done with it.
We're in the middle of a pandemic, and you're worrying about, we're asking you to say that they took money. You know what? Just relax. How I look at it. So, but anyway, I think again, Zion Williamson, leave him alone. Go from there. But again, great job, Voldy, with the ARAs. That was fantastic. But
thank you, sir.
We got to get to Shield shoutouts. We got a lot of good ones. And again, you know, we're letting you know this is something that is becoming a phenomenon here on MinneZona Sports Live with Shield shoutouts. So why don't you check it out?
Shield shoutouts.
All right, Shield. Who are you shouting out today?
All right. Well, I had to do a little bit of adjustment because we got a little show and tell coming up here pretty soon with Shield shout out. So everybody get excited for that. I got to start off. We had some college graduations over the weekend, a couple high school graduations as well. So we got to give a big Shield shout out to the class of 2020. It's been a very turbulent year for the class of 2020. College seniors, high school seniors not finishing off their collegiate or high school careers the way that they wished. But they got something, including one former colleague of mine. She was a board op at my old radio station at KJAM in Madison, South Dakota. And even the daughter of my old news director, Katie Bergheim, graduated with her degree in human resource management with a minor in accounting from the University of South Dakota. Congratulations, Katie, and congrats to all seniors that graduated over this past weekend, the class of 2020. Big Shield shout out goes to all of you.
Right. And, your senior year is supposed to be, a very happy time. And during these circumstances, I mean, gosh, I feel bad for, a lot of these people that are seniors in high school and in college as well. So, again, claps out, class of 2020. So.
Yeah. Well, I got to go another Shield shout out to those that have already done what should have been done a long time ago. Shout out to the Zoners. For buying your MinneZona Sports Live shirts. If you have ordered a shirt, be sure to get your money in PayPal, whether it be Venmo. We've got the details. If you haven't done so already, pay for your shirts. We'll ship them out. And if you haven't ordered a shirt yet, we've got more coming in. Smalls through double XLs, $20 a piece, $5 for shipping. Don't miss out on this quality merch that we've got. And yes, even some of the zoners already representing with their shirts. Fantastic. Just fantastic.
Yeah, so again, if you get your shirt, take a photo of yourself wearing it, or if you just want to hold it up, whatever you want to do, send it to me, the Shield, Kerf Doctor. I mean, you got to have the Zona merch, people. Let's go. So,
absolutely.
Gotta love it, Voldy. So anyway, next one, Voldy.
All right, well, now we get to the part of the show where it's time for show and tell. As I knock over my microphone here, we're going to go ahead and pull this in. You've probably seen it in the background a little bit. How sick
Whoa!
Look at that.
Roger Clemens.
How cool is that?
Uniform.
That's awesome. I got it from my Aunt Jane. She messaged me a few months ago asking if I wanted it or not, but she's been moving around a little bit. I dropped my mouse here, so I got to pick that up here for a second. And luckily enough, got it in the hands of my dad, Jimbo. He got it to me over Mother's Day, and I was lucky enough to bring it back to the Woods and Shores Studios. I mean, how awesome is that? That's just cool. And I just got to find a place to put it is the thing. It's kind of big and kind of out of the way.
I think our creative consultant can help you with that.
Let's hope. Let's hope she has a good spot for it. That's for sure.
Gotta love it. All right, next one, Voldy.
We got to go another Shield shout out to the leader of the keepers, that being Case Keenum himself, finally choosing a number for the Cleveland Browns. Cue up Mambo number 5, because Case Keenum will be wearing number 5 for the Cleveland Browns this season. And be sure to get those seam rippers ready for all those Tyrod Taylor Browns jerseys that were out in the land. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be on back order. The order for jerseys has taken place a while ago. So that's going to be another fun show that we've got coming up here in sometime, hopefully before the NFL season begins, because we'll get that going. And we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it for sure.
Right. I just love Keenum's Keepers. I'm glad that they finally got a jersey. I can't wait for you to get it, Voldy, so we can just admire the fact that Keepers are in Cleveland. Hopefully he gets a chance behind Baker here. So
absolutely. Got to wish a happy belated birthday to friend of the zone. Well, hopefully a future friend of the zone. The Mac Attack, Jeremy Macklin. Yes, sir. Former Mizzou, former Eagles, Chiefs, Ravens wide receiver Jeremy Macklin, who celebrated birthday on Monday. We got to get that connection. We got to get him on the show. I mean, we'd be doing ourselves an injustice.
We'll figure out something. He should have been a battle hawk, though, when the XFL
should have, but
yeah, we'll see.
Never say never. Well, I guess now you can say never because of the fact the XFL doesn't exist anymore. So
All right, next one, Voldy.
We got to give a big shout out to Big Al. Big Al's Bar and Grill just off County Road 36 in Emily, Minnesota.
Nice.
Hooking up KKIN radio, the whole station, with a rack of fully cooked ribs. Oh, I didn't eat them for dinner yet. I'm going to be saving them though. I got a couple of next days are pretty busy, but they are going to be quite delicious. Anybody who knows me, well, I put down some ribs in my time, so I'm really looking forward to it. Shout out to Big Al.
Well, hey, Coach Hines has said to Voldy, as we both know, use cherry ring pop, which is delicious, by the way, and you can say ribs, which are delicious, by the way. You can say it like that too. So hey, Coach Hines, and man, enjoy it. So next one.
Absolutely. Got to give another Shield shout out to Jimbo himself, man. That's behind the shipping and the merchandising for the MinneZona Sports Live. Again, if you haven't bought your shirt yet, get yourself one. If you did order a shirt, make sure you pay for it. So that way we can ship out your shirts as well. I got mine. You got yours. Curve Doctor's got his, all courtesy of Jimbo. Big shout out to him. Yes. And also a little bit of some secondhand socks. Can't really see them. Just showed up on Mother's Day. Here's some socks for you. Cool. All right. They're pretty comfy. So I had to give him a Shield shout out for that as well.
Oh, yeah, you have to. Jimbo's been fantastic with this. Oh, fantastic.
Absolutely. While we're on the topic of Mother's Day as well, happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, mothers of the zone and of the listeners as well. The followers have been with us since day one. Yes. And I also got to give a Shield shout out to brother DJ, sister-in-law Molly for hosting me and creative consultant Mrs. Sarah Ann Tewsvold for Mother's Day, able to get out of the house for the first time in 2 months and go somewhere, which was nice. And also got to see my mom, Jane Bow. She's great. Got to see her. Even ate some Chinese food. Haven't had Chinese food in forever, and it was well worth it.
Jimbo, too funny.
But just got to give credit where credit's due.
Oh, exactly. And Leanne Chin, a very nice place too. I also had Chinese local.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, fantastic. Curve Doctor's been craving some Chinese. Hai Chai and
Hai Chai is where it's at.
IV down here in Marshall. I think the Curve Doctor might be hitting up here soon. So.
You better believe it.
Yeah, J-Bo getting Leanne Chen, fantastic, Voldy. Stamp of approval. So
yes, sir.
Got it all set.
That's it for Shield shoutouts this week.
Oh wow, that was great. Again, another great round of Shield shoutouts. And guys, we don't need to say it again. Well, we're gonna say it again anyway. Make sure get your shirts, guys. It's only $25. I mean, obviously $20, $5 for shipping. I mean, they look fantastic. I mean, you look at Rick, you look at Easy A, you look at Victor's shirt. I mean, fantastic. Get your shirts, take a photo, send it to me, Shield, Curve Doctor, get it rolling. And for the people that wanted a shirt, gave them their size, make sure you pay Venmo, PayPal, make sure you get it to Jimbo. You can even mail a check. We'll work it out with you. So it's going to be fantastic. So you just guys, we'll keep in tune with that. And also, make sure to check out W2 Performance, Will Rattel. We tried to get him on this week. I'm hoping we can try and get him on next week. So we got our fingers crossed to get Will Rattel. Hopefully he's interested in his shirt too. So hey, you never say never. So we might have some surprises coming your way, zoners. So we're very happy to bring it to you. And again, another great show, Voldy. Great job to you. Great job to the Curve Doctor as well. He's got his shirt on. Just believe us, guys. He has his shirt on. I will take a photo, and so you guys know he's wearing his shirt, okay? The Curve Doctor's wearing his shirt. So Voldy's got his shirt. I got my shirt. Hey, everything's great, right? So anyways, zoners, make sure. Get your shirt. Get it rolling, okay? And we're going to post it on our socials media, so hey.
We are.
Just giving you guys some options, so. Anyway, without further ado, remember, folks, keep in the zone.
Holla.
Thank you for watching MinneZona Sports Live. Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. for live show broadcast. And as Voldy likes to say, follow us on all the socials medias.